Napansin nyo na ba? May mga bagong investment fund products sa GInvest by GCash. If you haven't noticed it, and if you want to learn more about these new products, watch this video. Hello mga ka-RFF, this is again Rex Mendoza from Rampver Financials. This is going to be a very exciting video because out of the blue, we saw two new investment products at GInvest by GCash. Alam nyo naman, we always follow this platform. We support it a lot because it has revolutionized and democratized investing in the Philippines. There are a lot of advantages with GInvest by GCash. And because we see this as a great development, we will always have to take it on and discuss these products. And more importantly, maybe a lot of promises moving forward on this particular platform. So ano ba talaga itong mga produktong ito? But before we even go to a discussion of those products, alam niyo ba, unahin muna natin, what are the things that are constant with GInvest by GCash? Kailangan pag-usapan muna natin ano yung mga constant. And I'm so sure these two products will always give the same advantages. So alam natin, pag sinabing GInvest by GCash, it is made affordable and it is going to be very accessible. Alam naman natin, di ba, ang ating investment commitment na pababa from 50 pesos to 1,000 pesos. That's the kind of affordability. You know, I go back many years. I remember whenever I got to these funds early on in my career, ang usapan po, milyonan eh. Ngayon hindi ako makapaniwala talaga. 50 pesos to 1,000 pesos and GCash was able to maintain it as such. So I'm so sure these two products will be along the same lines. Second, local and global investment products. Hindi po nakakonsentrate sa Pilipinas lang. Dapat merong global view because GInvest by GCash makes you a global investor. Ayan, hindi lang Pilipinas, international din. Again, binabalikan ko, before I was able to invest abroad, kailangan ang dami kong dollars. At dahil kailangan yun, ang ibig sabihin nun, malaki na rin yung aking peso base sa aking portfolio before I graduated into dollars. But because these are made affordable at that level, tapos may access tayong lahat, alangan namang hindi natin patusin. We will have to consider these as great opportunities to really get exposure to international markets and make sure we have the diversification. And lastly, unmatched convenience. Saan naman kayo nakakita? Isang ID lang. Isang ID lang, verified ka, pwede ka nang mag-invest. Alam nyo itong mga produktong ito, ang totoo, kulang ang isang oras para mag-fill up tayo. At ang dami-daming requirements because of GInvest by GCash, biglang sumimple, napadali. Again, isang ID lang, pasok ka na. So teka lang, ano ba itong mga produktong pinag-uusapan natin? This heralds a new dawn for GInvest by GCash. It does. Kasi alam natin, yung unang salbo ng GInvest, 5 funds, pero isang fund manager lang ang involved. Kung matatandaan nyo, ATR, Asset Management, or ATRAM. Yun ang fund manager nung 5 produktong unang lumabas sa GInvest by GCash. Itong 2 bagong produkto, bago ang fund manager. BPI Investment Management Inc. ang nagmamanage at fund manager nitong 2 produktong ito. So I think you all know, whenever I discuss products, I want to be very comprehensive. And this starts with the discussion of who the fund manager is. Any fund will only be as good as the institution that manages it. Kasi po, sila ang nagdadala eh. Hindi lahat ng fund porke pareho ng pangalan or label, pare-pareho ang performance. Sigun yan sa galing at experience ng fund manager. So sino ba itong BPI Investment Management Inc? Abay, siguro naman hindi natin kailangan pag-usapan. Pag nakita niyo yung pangalan BPI, it means that that's a subsidiary of BPI, one of our oldest, biggest, and most respected banks in this country. Hindi lang po pinag-uusapan dekada. Ang pinag-uusapan dito sa institusyon na ito, centuries. Mahigit daang taon. Talagang matagal na siya dito sa atin. But if we focus on BPI Investment Management Inc. per se, alam nyo ba, registered ito since June 1974, making it one of the oldest fund management houses in this country. Isa sila sa mga pioneers ng fund management at investment management. At ang pangalan nila noon, Ayala Investment Management Inc. Wow! Narinig niyo yung dalawang pangalan? I'm a marketing person and I always want to say brands are very powerful. Narinig mo yung pangalang BPI? Narinig mo yung pangalang Ayala? Abay, kahit papano, sa kaloob-looban mo, kampante ka na, mukhang astig itong fund manager na ito. It changed its name to BPI Investment Management in March 1991. So if you're going to be looking at it, it's an organization of 47 years. Di ba? 47 years na subsidiary of a bank that has been there since the start of our business history as a country. Sa lahat po ng mutual funds sa Pilipinas, the funds managed by BPI Investment Management Inc. makes for the largest market share in the entire industry. So yung minamanage po ni BIMI is actually the biggest in the mutual fund industry in the Philippines. So mga brands po, minamanage nila ALFM at PAMI funds. These are two very strong lines of funds. Kung alam niyo yung ALFM, naku, ang tagal na at marami sigurong investors na nakikinig dito, tandang-tanda na nila ang ALFM. Pero alam niyo ba ang ibig sabihin ng ALFM? Maraming hindi nakakaalam nun. It's Ayala Life Fund Management. Yun yung time na Ayala Investment Management Inc. pa lang sila at ito ang line of funds nila. Pero alam nyo, meron pang isang grupong pumasok na rin sa wings ng BPI Investment Management Inc. or BIMI. Ito po yung PAMI funds. Ano naman ibig sabihin ng PAMI? Philippine Asset Management Inc. So mapapansin nyo ha, Ayala, ngayon, Philippine pa. So, ito na ngayon lahat under their wing. Kaya pag pinagsama mo yan, they actually have the biggest market share in this industry. And we're talking about local and international recognition. Napakadami na pong awards na tinanggap ng BIMI at ng mga funds ng BIMI. It is recognized as one of the best investment and fund management firms in the country. I'm not talking about only local awards, even international awards. Tandang-tanda ko po ha, 2018. May awarding yung Philippine Investment Funds Association or FIFA. Alam niyo ba kung ilan ang award ng BIMI noon? 12. Talaga pong humakot sila ng awards doon sa awards night ng FIFA. So, this is a very strong fund manager. So, we are excited to look at what are these two funds that they're managing. Ito po yung pumasok ngayon sa GInvest by GCash. So, if we're going to be looking at it, we have number one, the Philippine Stock Index Fund, the ALFM Philippine Stock Index Fund, and the ALFM Global Multi-Asset Income Fund. Again, local, international, the best of both worlds, no? Talagang mapapansin nyo, yan talaga ang mismong puntirya ni GInvest by GCash. So let's zero in on the local fund. The ALFM Philippine Stock Index Fund is an index fund. So talaga pong mini-mirror niya yung Philippine Stock Exchange Index. And I want to compare it with a fund that is within the GInvest platform, the one managed by Atram. Kasi yun, Smart Index Fund. Ito, pure Philippine Stock Index Fund. When you say it's a Smart Index Fund, hindi niya completely mirrored ang index. Kahit papano may fund manager ka na gumagawa ng paraan para maka-earn ng a little bit more to be able to beat the index. So magtataka kayo, sasabihin nyo, so bakit pa natin kailangan ng stock index fund kung meron palang smart index? Kasi alam nyo, ang performance ng isang smart index fund sigun din sa galing ng fund manager. So as he is trying to get a little more than what an index gives, pwede siya magkamali. Yung smart na yun, hindi ibig sabihin laging tama. Ang stock index fund is a pure fund. In fact, BIMI takes pride in saying na ang ALFM Philippine Stock Index Fund would be the closest or one of the closest to mirror the PSEI. Importante ito para alam nyo na ang pagtaya nyo eksaktong-eksakto sa index. Ito yung talagang tinatawag nating it's an equity position, but it is probably the most passive of all positions. You're really betting on the Philippine economy. You're not looking at a fund manager to play around with anything. It's a pure bet on the Philippines, and it's a pure bet on the best 30 companies of the PSEI. So pag pinag-usapan po yun, ano ba talaga ang innate qualities nitong fund na ito? So syempre, dahil equity fund siya, aggressive, long-term, and can also be a bit volatile. Ang taya niya, nasa SM Investment, SM Prime Holdings, Ayala Land, Ayala Corporation. Yan po yung malalaking kumpanya that comprises our index. So definitely, yan din yung mabibigat ng weight doon sa fund na ito. And as I've said, it is the closest they can get. So wala pong humahalong fund manager risk because it's a total reflection of what the index can provide. And these are the companies that are within that index. Naku, kung makikita nyo ito, makakabahan kayo. Ang daming pula. Kasi ito po yung snapshot on how they did on October 29. So that particular day, yun ang hinango natin sa business world. Kaya kung makikita nyo, medyo mapula. But those are the 30 companies that are in the stock index fund. Now, ano yung particulars? Number one, management fee, 1%. Ito pong 1% na ito is relatively lower than the typical or average management fee of the Philippine mutual fund and unit investment trust industry. Kasi po kadalasan, kung makikita nyo, lalo na pag talagang managed fund, it ranges from about 1.5 to 2% or a little more than 2%. Si ALFM Philippine Stock Index Fund, 1%. Dahil yung 1% na yon, it's really more a system or a platform. Walang masyadong fund management, pero admin yan, custodian, and distribution. Kaya po 1%. Okay? Then, you look at the minimum initial and additional investment. Pag sa labas kayo kukuha or bibili ng ALFM Philippine Stock Index Fund, pumunta kayo sa isang branch ng BPI, ang minimum niyan, 5,000. Ang minimum additional, 1,000. Magkano sa GInvest by GCash? 50 pesos. Initial investment, 50 pesos. Minimum additional investment, 50 pesos. So if you compare it with what's in the market, napaka-affordable po. Talagang nagawang parang sachet. Hindi ba? Parang sachet. Hindi po tayo bibili ng buong botelya. Sachet. 50 pesos lang initially or kahit kailan nyo gustong magdagdag, pwede ang 50 pesos. Year-to-date yield, minus 2%. Wow! Sasabihin natin, sino mag-i-invest yan? Lugi pala. Stock index nga yan, di ba? It's the year-to-date yield of the whole PSEI. Ang annualized yield niya, however, is 19% plus 19%. Ano yung kaibahan nun? Kasi po, yung annualized yield, and these figures were taken September end, no? Yung po yung ending last year, September, and ending September this year. So isang taon po, eksakto 19%. So kung nag-invest kayo sa fund na ito, exactly 1 year ago, ang return nyo 19%. Ayan. So makikita nyo dapat, alam natin, long-term dapat ang ating view dito. So sometimes, ang katotohanan po, we kind of pressure our own selves for the stress and the anxiety. If you're really there for the long term, what's a few days? And that means you're also going to be looking at the negative yields. Pag medyo bumaba, parang masyadong takot na agad ang iba. Di ba long term ka? You're supposed to invest for goals. And if you're investing for goals at bumaba, di ba? It's a great chance to add a little more. It's actually an opportunity to add more. So tandaan po natin yan, this is going to be one of the products to look at moving forward. How about the other product? The other product is ALFM, Global Multi-Asset Income Fund. Okay? ALFM, Global Multi-Asset Income Fund. Just by the very name, multi-asset meaning hindi siya single asset, hindi equity lang. May haluan, hindi ba? Tapos nakalagay global. So obviously, ibig sabihin, it's not a Philippine-focused fund. It is a feeder fund. It invests 90% of its asset on another fund called the BGF Global Multi-Asset Income Fund. Ano ba yung BGF? That's an acronym for BlackRock Global Funds. Wow! BlackRock! Okay, BlackRock. Itong fund po na ito, ito lang fund na ito, ang assets under management, $6.8 billion. $6.8 billion. That's even bigger than the total assets under management of the entire mutual fund industry in the Philippines. Ganun po siyang kalaki. Hindi ba? Pangalawa, yung BlackRock, which is the fund manager, ang total minamanage ng assets nila globally is $9.5 trillion. Abay, napakabigat po. Mukhang talo pa. Talagang talo pa ang GDP ng buong Pilipinas. It is an aggressive long-term fund focused on capital growth. At ito po ang kaibahan. Meron silang monthly dividend payouts. Monthly dividend payouts that in the last few months average 4.4% to 4.7%. So monthly po, binibigay yan. Annualized, 4.4% to 4.7%. Distributed monthly. But for GInvest by GCash, ang atin pong magiging dividendo, i-reinvest. Ayan. So pag nag-issue ng dividendo, ang BGF Global Multi-Asset Income Fund, yan po ay ating tatanggapin in cash as a fund and automatically i-reinvest natin. So every month, meron pa kayong reinvested income. Now, does that mean that the NAVPS won't fluctuate? It will. Kasi meron po siyang lamang equities eh. Sa ngayon, let me tell you, somehow, the whole portfolio is made up of fixed income 60% and equities of 40%. That just tells you that the fund manager can also be a bit worried about the future of the market. So medyo nagkakaroon siya ng konting risk management effort. Instead of simply 50-50, ginawa niyang 60-40. Pero pag maganda po ang takbo ng ekonomiya, baka pwedeng mag-reverse yan. Pwedeng magkaroon ng chance na ang equity portfolio mas malaki sa fixed income portfolio. Pero bahala na po dyan ang fund manager. The exposure of the fund now is largely in North America, next ang Europe, and lastly, emerging markets. Can you imagine? Exposed tayo sa lahat ng markets na yun when we invest in this fund. The management fee for this fund is 1% going to BPI and 0.6% going to BlackRock. Ayan, naririnig ko na naman, may mga magre-reklamo na naman. Abi, bakit dalawa yung fee? Bakit dalawa? Kasi po, si BIMI, ang local fund manager, siya yung kukuha ng 1%, pero kailangan bayaran pa rin natin yung ating international fund manager ng 0.6. Now, kung magre-reklamo kayo, alam niyo po ang totoo. Even if you go directly to BlackRock, BlackRock will charge you and retail investors 1.5%. So, ang totoo, may charge lang tayo na 0.1%, a little higher than what BlackRock charges you when you invest with them. Now, kung gusto nyo mag-invest kay BlackRock, anong gagawin nyo? Pupunta kayo sa Amerika, pupunta kayo sa UK, tapos yung kanilang minimum, yun ang kailangan yung ikarga. Tapos syempre, since Filipino kayo, it's not going to be very easy to make an application. So ano ba naman yung 0.1% para makapag-invest tayo in a fund like this? Sometimes, many people will always concentrate on the cost. Alam niyo po, I want to take this issue head on and discuss it directly. Wala hong halong pag-iimbot at pag-aalinlangan. I always tell a lot of people, yes, there are fees. There are fees. But there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Yung dati pong video ko, merong nagsabi, Rex, ang mahal ng fees niyan. Alam mo, dito sa eToro, libre. Wow! E di chinek ko nga. Libre talaga. Pero ang hindi natin alam, meron pala silang spread. Yung bid and ask nila, yung spread, yung pala yung naka-charge sa'yo. So pag nag-trade ka, minsan, ang charge sa'yo 3% in one trade. O pero sasabihin nila, no commission, no fees. Pero may spread. So aralin natin because sometimes people charge us in different ways. So remember, no such thing as a free lunch. If you don't pay for anything, you will pay some other way. That's very clear. And second, sa akin po pag minsan, hindi ko tinatanong kung magkano at ano yung fees lang. Ang tinatanong ko minsan, what will you give me for that? Ayan, it's a question of worth. It's a question of worth. Kasi sa akin, babayaran kita ng 1.6. Eh kung magaling ka namang international fund manager, I won't care. Why? Because I don't want to do it myself. There are times I want to drive to Baguio because I have nice cars and I want to be able to drive the car. But there are times when I want to sit at the back. Eh gusto ko, doon ako, matutulog ako, gusto ko may driver ako. May sisweldohan akong driver, pero nakakapagtahinga ako sa likod. Nakakapagtrabaho ko, nakakatawag ako sa mga kailangan kong kontakin. Pero nagbabayad ako ng sweldo. So ang point ko ganito, minsan ayoko magbayad, ako gagawa. Ang tanong, kaya ko ba? Expert ba ako dyan? Minsan, baka mas maganda pa yung bumayad ka na lang para sigurado kang mas magaling sa'yo yung gagawa. We all have choices and that's the reason why always don't focus on cost. Focus on value. That's very important for us. These are two very strong funds, two new funds that we can choose to grow our portfolio with GInvest by GCash. But I'm not done yet. Gusto ko po talaga puntiryahin itong empowered investor perspective because as I've said, I see a lot of these chats and sometimes I cannot help. Gusto ko minsan sumausaw pero wala naman tayong oras. So dito na lang sa video ito, susubukan ko. I want you to number one, focus to achieve goals. You don't invest to make money. You don't invest to make money. You invest to achieve a goal. That will set you apart. That will make your view very different. Kasi pag nag-invest ka for a goal, di ba? For retirement, for your child's education, for the house for your family. Minsan, yung volatility nawawala kasi iba yung perspective mo eh. Di ba? Nag-invest ka for your retirement. Bumagsak yung market. Bakit? Retired ka na ba? Bakit ka worried na nalulugi ka? Hindi ka naman retired eh. You're doing this for your retirement. Magbabago ang pananaw mo. Ano magiging pananaw mo? Bumaba eh. Opportunity. Di ba? Nag-iipon ka pa lang ngayon. Kung nag-iipon ka pa lang ngayon, magandang mababa yung market para nakakapag-ipon ka ng mura pa. Doesn't that change your view? Di ba mas maganda yun? Habang nag-iipon ka mababa. Tapos pag magre-retire ka na, dun mataas. Di ba ganon? O gusto mo bang tumaas na agad ngayon? So nag-iipon ka pa lang, mataas na ang bili mo. Tapos kung kailan ka magre-retire, dun bumaba. Diyan po nagbabago yung tinatawag nating perspective natin as an investor. And I can tell you, the difference between winning and losing is in that perspective. Have a firm long-term view. As I've said earlier, pag long-term view ka talaga, mawawala yung mga 4 days, 3 days na napaka-mainipin mo na gusto mo kaagad na mabook Pag ang hihintayin mo 3 to 5 years, ano yung pinag-uusapan natin 2 to 3 days? And I will tell you, if you're investing on a regular basis, that is a plus and minus thing. There are times that within the 3 days of booking, within the 4 days of booking, umakyat. Meron naman times may buwan na pag nagdagdag ka, 3 or 4 days before booking, bumaba. So it kind of averages out. So don't put a lot of stress on yourself and the way you're managing it as if it's a life and death situation for 0.000 something of a price or an NAVPS. Crisis and opportunity. Hindi pa po nakakabawi ang ating market. The pandemic is still here. It is still surfacing a lot of opportunities and the time to take advantage of that is now. In the end, it will be a matter of discipline, responsibility, and accountability. We cannot blame the economy. We cannot blame what's happening in our country. If you're responsible enough and you take on the discipline, if you concentrate and focus on growing your income while limiting your lifestyle change, you will have funds to accumulate over time. And these are the funds that can grow and become the realization of dreams later on. Alam nyo, ang isang masasabi ko lang dito sa development na ito is something major. GInvest by GCash has added a fund manager and 2 products. Siguro po, prelude na ito sa pagkakaroon ng iba't iba pang fund manager at investment products dito sa GInvest. At maaaring hindi huminto doon. Baka pwedeng magkaroon ng direct stock trading sa GInvest. Yung iba sa inyo, naririnig ko nang nagtatanong, magkakaroon ba ng cryptocurrency sa GCash? Alam nyo, nakakatuwa. This, as I've said, heralds a new age. Diyan mo na makikita, it is opening up this platform of great future opportunities for expanded portfolios. Alam niyo po, dito na sa yugtong ito, gusto kong gawing exciting ang video ito. I want all of you to subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed yet. If you're subscribed, that's great. If you're not, please subscribe. Now, after you're subscribed, I'd want you to put 2 things in the comment section below. Number 1, will you consider investing in the BMI funds that are now available in GInvest? Number 2, what future investment products do you like to have in GInvest? Would that be stocks? Would that be bonds? Would that be cryptocurrency? Yun po ang number 2. So dalawa, ulitin ko. First comment, mag-i-invest ka ba sa BMI funds? Number 2, anong produkto kaya ang gusto mong idagdag sa GInvest by GCash? If you have subscribed and put these 2 items in the comment section below, you will have a chance to win 1 out of these 10,000 pesos to start your BMI funds investment. Ayan, kayo po ang pipili ng fund na gusto nyo. 10 of you will be chosen to invest for free in GInvest by GCash. So, tingnan nyo naman, sagot pa namin ang startup investment nyo sa BMI funds na mapipili ninyo. So, subscribe now and put those 2 items on that comment section below. Again, Rampver Financials is here to be able to handhold you, to be able to take part in your investment journey, and it is our honor and privilege that you have given us that chance to do so. Again, ito po uli, si Rex Mendoza, wishing you all the very best. Blessings always.